Yes, now I'm speaking English. Well, it's a relatively new field. I mean, well, by now it's middle-aged. It's been going on for 2 or 3 decades, depending on how you count. And it's dedicated to how language represents conceptual content. So it's how conceptual material is organized and structured, both universally across all languages and how it differs across different languages. And therefore, it examines major conceptual categories such as how languages structurally represent things like space and time, static scenes and active events, force and causation. You'll find many languages with endings on the nouns that tell you the number of the noun, but no language anywhere in the world has an ending that tells you the color of the object. So you could start making 2 columns, and in one column would be conceptual categories that do get expressed by closed class forms grammatically, and on that list will be number, and it'll include tense and aspect and gender and so forth. But in this other list will be categories that are never expressed, such as color, and really an indefinite number of further concepts. So we've got a relatively closed set of conceptual categories that are ever expressed grammatically. And even within each category, there's a relatively small number. So even within the OK category of number, it's not any kind of number that can be expressed. You can have singular, dual, plural, singulative, things like that. But you'll never get things like 10 or a dozen or too many or even or odd. Any of those concepts won't be expressed. So it's a highly delimited system. And one of the things so you've got, and my finding is that this set of concepts that are expressed grammatically around the world has a particular function. It's the major conceptual structuring system of language. If you can make a division of labor, the lexical forms mainly express conceptual content, and the grammatical forms mainly express conceptual structure. So there's a content and structure distinction. And so language gives to you directly in its grammatical forms how it structures concepts. Well, for example, this is another part of my work. It's how languages differ in the way they express events of motion and location. So actually, Spanish and English provide two of the major types. In English, you would say for some concept, like let's say here's a cave, here's some water, here's a bottle, and the bottle moves like this. In English, you would say the bottle floated into the cave. So the verb is used for the manner of motion, the fact that it's floating, which expresses the buoyancy relationship between the bottle and the water. The preposition plus what I call a satellite, a path satellite, expresses the path it's into. So we know that the path is going to be expressed not by the verb, but by this preposition-like thing. So the bottle floated into the cave. In Spanish, that's the characteristic pattern for English. In Spanish and many other languages, the characteristic pattern is that you use the verb to express the path. So you would say something like, la botella entró, and then, at least in Mexican Spanish, you'd say, a la cueva, flotando. If you want to express the manner, you'd have to say flotando in a gerund form. If you actually do experiments showing the same pictures, like a cartoon, to Spanish speakers and English speakers, they will pull out different aspects of it And the English speakers regularly express more of the manner aspects of this event than the Spanish speakers do. So it looks like it has, this distinction between languages has consequences in how we conceptualize events around us, what emphases we put on them, on different parts of them, what we attend to differentially. So that's one way that cognitive linguistics applies to how languages differ from each other.